Got mercy? What is mercy anyway? Jesus said it's something you can learn. Jesus said, learn mercy. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus said comes from Matthew 9:12 through 13. To set a little context here, Jesus was being criticized because of who he was hanging out with. He had just encountered Matthew at the tax booth. Matthew was also called Levi. We see a similar story in Mark 2 and in Luke 5, where Jesus went to Matthew's place of business. He was a tax collector, which was a societal outcast at that time. They were known as crooks and thieves. And then after that, he went to his house. And the hypocrites were saying, Why are you hanging out with these undesirables? And that's where Jesus said this, Matthew 9, beginning in verse 12. When Jesus heard this, he said, healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. Then he added, now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices. That's a quote from Hosea. For I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners. The hypocrites were asking Jesus, why? And Jesus said, this is why. And you should go learn mercy. Now, Jesus used two verbs here. It's very clear that this is an action, a call to action, not just a philosophy. Go, learn. But that learn is not just head knowledge. The word that's used for learn there in the original language means to learn by use and practice. It's actually an action, not just a thought process. And just consider the context here, where Jesus had gone to Matthew. And how did he practice this kind of mercy? By hanging out with those who needed him the most. Now, to the self-righteous, who were trying to separate themselves from people that they considered not like them, that was the problem. Why is Jesus sitting with such scum? In some translations it says. But to Jesus, this kind of mercy was the solution. And he said, go learn this. Learning of Jesus is something that he talked about in several places. In Matthew 12, Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30, Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Let me teach you, in some translations, says, learn of me. How can we learn of Jesus? Well, I believe that part of that meaning is to do what Jesus did. And what was he doing? He was reaching out to those who needed it, not just hanging out with those who already had the answers. Those who needed to learn, that's where Jesus went to. And that's where he said to learn mercy, to learn of him. You know, being a judge is a hard job. It's a heavy burden. Judging and condemning people actually makes it worse on us. Have you ever known a happy critic? Have you ever known someone who always finds a problem who is happy? And Jesus quoted Hosea 6:6, saying, learn of me, and that the perspective was to not just sacrifice, not just do the righteous things, but to learn of mercy and justice. Now, the hypocrites of this day, the self-righteous of his day, knew this information, and they followed all the rules for sacrifice. But Jesus was telling them to do something different. And he said something similar when the ultra-religious accused him of breaking the Sabbath and accused his disciples of not keeping the Sabbath right. Matthew 12:7, he says, but you would not have condemned my innocent disciples if you knew the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not to offer sacrifices. We can either learn and show mercy, or we can be a condemning critic. You can't do both. Who are you going to? Where's Matthew at the tax collector's booth? Are you hanging out with his friends? Who are you hanging out with? The healthy don't need a doctor. Jesus said, learn mercy. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really means a lot. If you like it, if you share it, appreciate all of the comments, and I appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.